Good evening to all our guests. Please welcome to the stage our MC for the night, Boston City Councilor at Large, Michelle Wu.
Good evening, everyone. Little more energy. Good evening, everyone. More like it for Renata von Tscharner and the Charles River Conservancy. It is my honor to serve as your MC for this special, one-of-a-kind event tonight. A poignant combination of hellos and goodbyes that will have emotional moments for us all throughout the night. What brings us together is the magnificent ribbon of blue, ribbon of green that flows through the heart of our urban landscape, the Charles River. Reclaimed from being a workhorse and dumping ground dominated by industrial use for decades, the Charles River today is alive and glistening with possibilities. With this revitalization, its parklands are the democratic common ground that brings our diverse community together and offers a beautiful respite for body, mind, and soul of every age, every nationality and every economic station in life. Its beauty is free for all to enjoy. But the parkland's beauty does come at a price, and that price is careful planning, political action to protect and preserve, and a financial investment to afford the kind of care that beautiful parklands demand on a daily basis. That is the work of the Charles River Conservancy. This amazing organization and all of us here supporting it and many more, we are the volunteer guardians of that democratic common ground, working shoulder to shoulder with the DCR, Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation. I'm joined today by our Commissioner, Roy. And supported by so many others as well, and I know including many of my colleagues in elected government on all levels, but I especially want to give a special recognition to Cambridge City Councilor Dennis Carlone for his longtime support and involvement here. I've also had the privilege to have a personal connection with the Conservancy since 2010, when I met with Renata to discuss the organization. And I had an experience like I'm sure many of you have. By the end, I didn't know how it happened, but I was somehow asked how I could help, and then I was on the board and helping. And in 2016, I took that ultimate jump into the Charles River and got to experience the exhilaration of urban river swimming. Tonight, we are saying farewell to the founder and president of the Charles River Conservancy after 18 years of selfless, unparalleled service to our community. Renata von Tscharner, you have been an amazing leader, and tonight we get to wrap our arms around you and say thank you. And for my part, on the Boston City Council, to show our gratitude, I have here with me an official resolution from the Boston City Council declaring today, June 2nd, 2018, Renata von Tscharner Day in the city of Boston. So you can see a copy of the resolution in the program book. Just don't tell any of my constituents I'm actually across the river delivering it. But congratulations, Renata. This evening, we're also welcoming a dynamic new leader to step into Renata's shoes and carry forward her vision, insight, and enthusiasm. In just a few minutes, you'll hear from our future leader of the Charles River Conservancy, Laura Jasinski. But I do want to begin this evening by thanking the Volunteer Planning Committee who came together to help plan this gala night of revelry and best wishes. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much. I also want to thank our generous sponsors who have helped us raise over $700,000 in advance of tonight. Please, we'll go through level by level, but join me in looking to the screens for their names and company logos. Our ribbon of blue, ribbon of green lead sponsors, Philip and Susan Reagan, and a very generous anonymous donor. Our Charles Elliott sponsor, the Lynch Foundation, plus an additional $50,000 challenge grant that you'll hear about more tonight. Our Common Ground sponsors, Berkshire Partners, the Wagner Foundation, Hans-Jörg Wyss, and another anonymous donor. Thank you. Our urban recreation sponsors, the Barr Foundation, Boston University, Dr. Carolyn K. Tribe Charitable Foundation, Carol and Paul Fremont Smith, an anonymous donor as well. Thank you very much. And our Riverscape sponsors, the Alchemy Foundation, Catherine Donaher and Rob Hollister, Jennifer Gilbert and John Ellersick, Deborah Isles and Eric Sobel, Harvard University, the Highland Street Foundation, and another generous anonymous donor. I want to thank all of our Parkland sponsors as well, whose names will appear on the slide, as well as our Friends of the Conservancy sponsors. Thank you to everyone. We are tremendously grateful for your support. And now, it is my honor to introduce our new executive director. The search for Renata's replacement was an exciting one because we received many resumes of experienced people eager to take the helm, but one individual emerged head and shoulders above the others. Her background in city planning set her apart. Her accomplishments include years at the Rose Kennedy Greenway, where she served as project manager for the installation of the now famous aerial artistry of Janet Eckelman, along with managing hundreds of free public programs throughout her tenure. She has established herself as a creative thinker and problem solver deeply committed to open space activation. The board unanimously selected her as the executive director of the Charles River Conservancy, and I'm delighted to introduce to you Laura Jasinski.
Thank you, Michelle. All of those accolades sound really great, but I'm really excited to add one more tonight. Earlier today, I finished my first 1 mile swim in the Charles River with the Charles River Swimming Club. I'm so thrilled to be here tonight. It's really a special night of celebration and thanks, and I'd like to start by thanking the entire staff and the board of directors for the Charles River Conservancy. From the very beginning of the interview process, it was clear this is a very dedicated group committed to the health and vitality of the Charles River Parklands, and I'm thrilled to take this position in large part to work with all of you. Of course, I'd also like to thank Renata. I'd like to thank her for many of the reasons everyone in this room thanks her: for starting the Charles River Conservancy, for building a skate park, and for getting people swimming in the river again. She has been an unapologetic advocate for what she believes in. You might even say she's like a river, a force of nature not to be underestimated. Renata has spent a large part of her career protecting one of Boston's most iconic and valuable assets, the Charles River Parklands. Charles Eliot had the foresight to protect this land for the public nearly 130 years ago, to create a democratic common ground for us all to use and to own. His effort was brilliant, but not final. We need to continue doing the work of protecting, stewarding, and animating the parklands as Renata and the Charles River Conservancy have. This is especially true in a time when our city and region are growing and access to open space is becoming scarcer. We need to encourage people to be active outdoors at a time when obesity is the largest threat to public health. We need to engender interactions across all income levels, races, and backgrounds at a time when our population is becoming both more polarized and isolated. And we need to protect our parklands so that they can protect us from the realities of climate change. Charles Eliot set us up for success, but we need to continue to do more. More trees and shade, more places for gathering, more music and celebrating on the riverbanks, more art to ask questions, start conversations, and reflect everyone that lives here. More hands getting dirty, more learning by discovery or with guidance, and more people in the river. But because we need more from our public parks, we also need to give them more support. And we can do this by supporting partnerships like that of the Charles River Conservancy and the DCR. Together, we can deepen the impact of public space, advocate for new parklands to support our growing region, and ensure that existing open space is not lost. This support will not only ensure the protection of the urban Charles, but also its evolution to serve our future. We are fortunate to be doing this work in good company. Cities across the country are rediscovering their riverfronts and using them to strengthen their cities. Chicago has turned even the narrowest section of sidewalk into engaging boardwalks and gathering places. Washington, D.C. is using the Anacostia River and the 11th Street Bridge project as a catalyst for equitable development planning. We are in Cambridge, the capital of learning and innovation. Let's learn from these great examples and continue to improve our riverfront. Tonight, we would also like to celebrate one of these models from Paris. In preparation for the 2024 Olympics, Mayor Anne Hidalgo saw an opportunity to celebrate the sport of swimming in the Seine River by constructing a seasonal pool to be enjoyed by all. The Bain de la Villette opened in 2017 to great enthusiasm and will be reinstalled this year. We would like to congratulate Mayor Hidalgo, the Green Mayor, on this accomplishment, and thank her and her colleagues for being incredibly helpful with our efforts to build the first urban swim park in the United States. When the CRC contacted their office, they happily answered our questions and even sent us the blueprints. I would like to invite the French consul, Valérie Feuillon, to accept this award on behalf of Mayor Hidalgo and to say a few words.
Bonsoir. So many French locutors here in Cambridge. Good evening. Dear Renata von Tscharner, chère Renata, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to swim twice in the Charles River. I will never forget it. And thank you so much for this wonderful picture, you know. Thank you very much, dear Laura, and congratulations on taking the helm of the Charles River Conservancy. It is my honor to accept this award on behalf of Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo. She was very disappointed not to be with us tonight, but I know that she's very happy and very proud to be recognized for her commitment to urban river swimming. As you may know, Mayor Hidalgo is known in France as our green mayor. You also have some green mayors here in this area. She has a deep commitment to protecting the environment. She's a champion for creating accessible green spaces, limiting the use of public roadways to eliminate pollution. Sometimes it creates a lot of debates in France. And getting more people to enjoy our natural surroundings, including, of course, promoting river swimming. The mayor is proud to call herself the custodian of the most beautiful city in the world, of course, after Boston, you know. And she wants to invite all of you to pack up your swimming suits and towels and come and visit us in Paris. Just do like what I did. Yes, come to Paris. Today, in Paris, we can already swim in the Bassin de la Villette, but the mayor has an even more ambitious plan. She promises to initiate a major cleanup so we can all be swimming in the Seine by the year 2024, when Paris will be hosting the Olympic Games. So, as I already mentioned, as someone who already participated twice in the Charles River Conservancy community swim, and you know, I'm safe, I certainly would love to see Boston be the first American city to have an urban river swim park. Yes. Go ahead, Boston. So, once again, thank you for this recognition, and I will be delivering this award to the mayor's office, where I promise it will be prominently and proudly displayed. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Renata.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, Consul General Freland. Yes, let Boston be the place for America's first urban river swim park. So now I want to show you the images and renderings of what we have in mind. So first we'll start with the map of where the swim park will be. And you see the star there. If we can zoom in for a close-up of North Point Park. That's what we're talking about. And finally, here is the rendering of the beautiful swim park we envision. Now is the time to invest in our world-class city and strengthen the mission of the Charles River Conservancy to give Laura Jasinski the resources she needs to be successful. I'll give you a little bit of context as to what your contribution means. A gift of $5,000 will further the Swim the Charles initiative, build our volunteer program to remove litter, plant bulbs, paint benches, and more in our parklands. A gift of $2,500 will strengthen our advocacy to protect the public interest in the parklands, like the I-90 project in Alston, to have the most benefits for the community. A gift of $1,000 makes possible free events to attract more and more volunteers and get them involved. $500, a contribution of that level will support Conservancy volunteer tree watering efforts. A gift of $250 buys tools to provide necessary maintenance in the parklands. And every gift of $100 buys native and non-invasive plant species to fill gardens in the park. Let's keep these wands waving. This is the ribbon of blue, ribbon of green for Renata von Tscharner tonight. Thank you so much for all of your generosity tonight. Thank you. So please enjoy your dinner as we take a break to talk with the guests at your table before we come back and restart the program to celebrate Renata. And before we break for dinner, I want to thank our beautiful mermaid, Sariel, the Charles River Mermaid, who will still be available for photos during the dinner break and at the conclusion of the event. Be sure to take away a fun memento from this night. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back.
Good evening, everyone. So I hope you've enjoyed your meal. I gather dessert and coffee are on the table right now. I want to just introduce myself. My name is Nils Fredland. I'm the artistic director of Revels North, based in Hanover, New Hampshire. And it is in that work with Revels North that I have had the great good fortune of working with Patty Swanson and Megan Henderson and George Emlin and the team here at Cambridge Revels. And it is that collaboration with the Cambridge Revels that first brought me in contact with Renata at George Emlin's retirement party a couple of years ago, when I led some dancing. Now, what I do is I'm a square dance caller primarily. But with so many of you in this amazing hall and so many tables, we decided that square dancing was probably not going to happen. But we wanted to figure out a way to engage everyone in some dancing together. And we decided on a dance, social dance from Brittany in France called an andro. But what this is going to require is for all of you to take a break from your coffee and dessert and stand up. We're going to consider this a moment of a synchronized musical stretch, we'll call it. All right, everybody stand up. So this is a dance that's gonna keep you in place. Connect as many of you as possible. So what we're gonna do, I want you to take your pinkies here, all right? And just with the folks that are standing around you, connect those pinkies, all right? If we can connect between tables, that's great. We can have lines going on the diagonal. There are gonna be lines going all over the place. All right, optional. It's the hand movements that we're gonna do. So enjoy the andro to the tune of Elixir. Here we go. Starts down. And it's just that simple. It's like gentle waves.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our MC, Michelle Wu.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed your dinner. And one more round of applause for the fabulous entertainment by our band Elixir and our caller, Nils, please. Now it is time to celebrate Renata, and to kick off the accolades, I would like to invite our friend and partner to the stage, our Commissioner of the DCR, Leo Roy.
Look around this room. What a terrific group you are. And you know one thing you hold in common? You're all friends of this remarkable woman right here. And in addition to all the friends that she has in this room tonight, you know that she has friends across the Commonwealth, up and down the river. Many, many friends. We are so delighted to be here to honor you tonight, Renata. In your program, you'll see a citation from the governor, along with the accolades received from Boston and Cambridge, because we in the Baker administration salute you and the work that you've done all these years. I think you're all familiar with the DCR and the work that we do across the Commonwealth, not just here in the Charles River Basin, but really across the Commonwealth, the 500,000 acres that we manage on your behalf. They range from Revere Beach, the first public beach in America, down to the Cape, across to Greylock Glen. We take care of the cultural and historic resources of Massachusetts, including those iconic places such as Pilgrim Rock. We're about to have a birthday there in 2020, and also Walden Pond. Really the iconic place that created environmentalism in the mid-19th century here in America. We at the Baker-Polito administration are giving back to the parks all the time. This year we're investing almost $100 million into the park system. But with 500,000 acres across, as you know, more is needed. We've realized in state government that we can't do it all alone anymore. And this is where Renata, through her leadership, and all of you come in, through the great partnership we have with organizations such as this. We can't do it alone, and we need citizen partners. And that's what we have in Renata for nearly 20 years, founding this organization and being a tireless advocate. She is one of the best in the business, as those of you who have encountered her time again. She's tenacious, she's smart, and she's very dedicated to the cause of improving the parklands here in the Charles River Basin. You've heard the name Charles Elliott several times already this evening, and this is a very important year for the DCR, because in 1893, that same Charles Elliott and several others got together to save a group of trees, the Waverly Oaks, in the Belmont Watertown area, Belmont Waltham area. Until that time, there had been city parks, but there had never been regional parks. So here we had a couple of towns, they were trying to protect these trees. So Charles Eliot and several got together to develop the first regional park system in the nation. That was on June 3rd, 1893, 125 years ago. That is our predecessor agency. The Metropolitan Parks Commission eventually became the Metropolitan District Commission, the MDC, and finally in 2002, the DCR that oversees the parks across the Commonwealth. But it was that leadership and that inspiration by one person that really made a difference. And what I challenge you to think about this evening is the importance of these parklands, especially in the urban area. You all know this, you experience it. Whether you're paddling on the river, cycling alongside it, enjoying a quiet moment, that oasis in the urban landscape is so important to our soul. And more, when we have all this noise in our lives and these damn devices that we have to interact with, a chance to get away and to listen to the water rippling by and the birds. This oasis is good for us as human beings. And it is that Renata has been fighting for all these years, and the work that you do as an organization. So thank you so much for your support for your urban park system. Thank you so much for your support of this great organization. And on behalf of the DCR, Governor Baker, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Renata, we thank you so much for the outstanding gifts that you've given us and what you've demonstrated to us, just like Charles Eliot did 125 years ago, is the importance, the difference that one person can make. And all of you in this room also have that ability to make that change and to make a difference in the lives of those around you and for future generations. So I'm delighted to be here to celebrate Renata and the time with all of you and the tremendous partnership that we in the DCR have with the Charles River Conservancy. And we're so much looking forward to the next leadership with Laura and working in partnership with her on all of these great projects. It is now my great pleasure to introduce a story that you're going to have on film in Renata's own words about this. So please draw your attention to the screen and join me in congratulating and thanking this extraordinary woman for her decades of commitment. Thank you.
Let me tell you my river story. Ever since I arrived to this country in 1979, I have been lucky to live near the river and its parklands. I was teaching at Harvard's Radcliffe seminars, and I had the landscape students design parks along the urban Charles. I realized I really wanted to physically change things, and for that, I needed to form a non-profit organization. So, in 2000, I wrote a letter to 100 friends, colleagues, and officials, describing my idea and organizing a symposium. My husband Peter sketched our logo on the back of an envelope, thus branding was all taken care of. Several of those 100 people sent some money. I hired an intern and we set up office in my daughter Severin's bedroom in Newton. The first project was to create a visual image that depicts the ribbon of blue and the ribbon of green. The map had to capture the amazing power of that public green space, that democratic common ground, as Charles Eliot called it, in the midst of a dense city. Next was to get Carl Hagelund's PhD thesis on the urban Charles published. He had researched the history of this perennial battleground between transportation and recreation interests. With the MIT Press, we published Inventing the Charles River and celebrated the publication with a symposium. Around that time, the state's parks agency, it was the MDC at the time, finalized its master plan for the banks of the Charles, and they estimated it would cost several $100 million to implement. What could a brand new non-profit do to help the state implement that plan? We started recruiting landscape volunteers who would form a powerful core of people who cared. Thus, the Conservancy volunteers were launched with now well over 20,000 participants. From the beginning, there were two big ideas I wanted to realize. Swimming in the Charles was one of them, and the other was building a skate park. After all, my youngest son Reynolds is a skateboarder. I am so glad I did not know about the challenges of working with so many different agencies and the toxic soil we would encounter. But 12 park commissioners later, $1 million in legal fees, all donated by Wilmer Hale, and more than $5 million in design and construction cost, we opened with 2,000 people at the event. That was a very happy day for the skaters, the Conservancy, and for me. If you have not seen the Lynch family skate park under the Zakem Bridge, go and visit, and you will also discover the beautiful North Point Park. This new park, where Cambridge used to recycle trash, is part of a $100 million mitigation of the impacts of the Big Dig. It is just downriver from the Museum of Science that we now plan to build a swim park. Urban river swimming has been a long tradition in Switzerland and in my family. We love swimming in the Rhine and in the Aar. Another family tradition of mine has been watercoloring, and so I tried to express my love for this river with my brushes, and then invited real experts to create beautiful watercolors and narratives that resulted in 3 volumes of river stories. Well, I could tell you all about bridge illuminations, bike paths, underpasses, Sunday games, and advocacy efforts like Mass DOT's I-90. Or you can watch some of the over 100 Conservancy TV shows now on YouTube. Many of my CCTV guests are here tonight. But the reason we are in this space tonight is because since I arrived in the US about 40 years ago, I have attended Christmas Revels at Sander Theater, and I fell in love with the Revels way of celebrating. I wanted to bring the Revels and their magic to the Charles. So in 2004, we started Riversing, now a yearly tradition around the autumnal equinox and enjoyed by thousands. This is a great celebration, but all the work we did over the past 18 years would not have been possible without you all. What a dedicated group of people who are now helping the Charles River Conservancy to become even stronger, making our parklands more active, more attractive, and more accessible. Thank you for all your support over the past 18 years. I am so grateful and filled with confidence for the future of the Charles River Conservancy.
We, in the Revels way, would like to have you all sing. All right. So I think we're going to have a slide up here that's going to give you some lyrics so that you'll feel a bit more comfortable. Let's do the chorus of Shall We Gather
Let them know.
So you're going to sing this bit where it says audience sings refrain. And we'll sing that refrain twice now for those of you that might not be familiar with it, all right? So just the refrain for now, and then we'll launch into the first part of the song. So just the refrain. joyful river, gather with our friends at the river that flows by the land we love. Do the refrain again. Shall we gather at the river under shady sycamores? May we gather there forever on its green and loveless shores. Oh, down by the riverside now, another one you can join us on. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, bring my cares and woes. I ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. I ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. Ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. I ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. I ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. Ain't gonna carry my cares and woes. Gonna swim in that water soon, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna swim in that water soon, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my cares and woes. I ain't gonna carry my cares and woes.
Please welcome to the stage the chair of the Charles River Conservancy Board, Deborah Isles.
Wow. Hello, everyone. My name is Deborah Isles. I'm the board chair for the Charles River Conservancy. Since 2010, I've had the honor of working closely with Renata to realize the ambitious plans of this organization. It's been a remarkable journey. I've never really been able to keep up with Renata. I think that's because of her amazing bike, but I've been thrilled to try to tag along. So the next few minutes are going to continue this open love letter that we've been having to someone that we all admire immensely, and that's Renata. I'm sure that many of you, as I do, volunteer, contribute to, or get involved with nonprofits that are things that you believe strongly in. You do that for your personal passions, we all do, and we hope to make our communities better and stronger by doing that. But Renata's commitment is really something quite different. This whole enterprise was her brainchild, and her vision made it all possible. I think she's logged more miles on the Paul Dudley White bike path than anyone. She's formed a human bridge across the river, stitching together the Cambridge side and the Boston side, uniting all who love the river. She's put in countless hours. She's juggled the daily demands of this organization. And something you may not know, she has never asked for a paycheck. Every dollar that she's raised for this organization has gone directly to the mission of the Charles River Conservancy. Renata's generosity is matched by her vision, her love of people from all walks of life, and her enormous work ethic. She is utterly fearless, and I really want to thank her personally for inviting me into her merry band of river advocates and changing my life for the better. Before I invite Renata up, I'd like to ask her family to join me on stage. Please welcome Peter Munkenbach, her husband, her daughters Severine and Sienna, and her son Reynolds. We're really very happy that you're all here and that we can thank you personally for all the support that you've provided to Renata over the years as the wife and mother that you love has worked so hard to save and restore our small slice of the world. She really couldn't have done it without you. So Renata, with your fan club here on stage and surrounding you, I hope you'll come up and join us. So, on behalf of the CRC board, the staff, the volunteers, everyone here, the citizens of Greater Boston and Cambridge, I want to present you with this special gift. And Peter, if you could just... This is an original watercolor by one of your favorite local artists, Frank Costantino. Oh. Frank is here with us tonight. So, as you can see, this is a picture of you and your trusty bicycle surrounded by images of beautiful places on the Charles and all the wonderful work that you've accomplished. So, just as you're surrounded in this picture, I hope you feel surrounded by all the admiration and love of everyone in this group here. No matter where you go, Renata, this is how we'll always think of you. So thank you for being a true force for nature, a Wonder Woman beyond compare, and a role model for everyone who's ever tried to make change happen. You have really lived the maxim that you don't serve the world by thinking small. So thank you so much for dreaming big, for playing big, and for bringing us all along on this journey.
Wow, what a gift. And where is the artist? Where is Frank Costantino in the room? Right there. Thank you, Frank. Ah, what a beautiful piece of art. And what a thoughtful gift. I mean, bring it all together. This is really wonderful. And to have you all here tonight, what an amazing gift that is to celebrate in that space with all of you who care about the river. And Deborah, thank you for your kind words. We worked together for 10 years, wonderful time. And thank you particularly for your leadership in this transition period, which is never an easy time for an organization, and which brought us the wonderful Laura. Thank you for your work on the organization. Thank you so much. Some of you have come from as far as Switzerland, and from France, from California, from Utah, from down East Maine and New Jersey. Thank you for making the trip. Thank you for here coming tonight. Thank you. I am so touched by your coming and celebrating here. It has been an amazing 18 years. Without the full support of my family and friends like you, I could not have done it. Particularly, I am grateful to my husband, Peter Munkenbeck, who has been a constant and steady and patient advisor on all matters, financial, legal, psychological, and wow, did I need it. Thank you. When Catherine Donaher, who's sitting right here, a founding board member, suggested we do a TV program together to discuss what distinguished the work of the Charles River Conservancy, we realized how important it has been to make people fall in love with the Charles. And the Charles River Conservancy did that in different ways, with watercolors, with bridge illuminations, with daffodil plantings, with river stories, with river sing, and with city splashes, all moments to fall in love. Let me end the evening with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. Most associate him with Walden Pond, but his wisdom also makes sense on the Charles. He said, "If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them." Well, at times the Conservancy, as an ambitious concept, the skate park, river swimming, felt like castles in the air. But together, we not only built those castles in the air, but then put foundations under them. And your being here tonight and your financial contributions are making that possible. To place the Charles River Conservancy leadership in the capable and caring hands of Laura gives me so much joy. And I know that all of you will continue to care for the well-being of the Charles and the Conservancy. Laura will call on you, and I know you will respond as you demonstrated tonight. Now it is time to do more singing and dancing. What a wonderful party. Thank you.
So everyone stay up here just one more minute. I want to thank everyone again for coming. And I'm very, very excited to announce the results of tonight. So far. So tonight, leading up to the event, we had raised $744,500. Earlier tonight, your incredible generosity added another $66,820, plus the $50,000 match from the Lynch Foundation. That leaves a grand total, thanks to everybody's hard work, generosity, and supporting Renata's legacy, $861,320 raised. So thank you again, congratulations, and thank you for your support of the future of the Charles River Conservancy. Now it's time for more dancing and singing. Let's have Renata and her family lead our line dance around the room. Thank you again.
Too hot for comfort and you can't get ice cream cones. It ain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones. When the lazy syncopation of the music softly moans, it ain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones. Well, the bears aren't green up in Greenland, they got the right idea. They think it's great to refrigerate while we all cremate down here, just like those newborn babies in the South Sea tropic zones. It ain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones.